Okay, so I have a story for you, and it's very, 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 very strange. I'm serious. And it had to do with a lot of this weird time warp or jumping into a timeline that was very not a real timeline. It was very strange. So, and this is why, if I haven't had the confidence and the knowing that when I talk and I can hear and converse with my guides and my angels and everything else, and Monad himself or herself or itself, I would have really been in trouble. So it was a beautiful day. And my son and I were going to his orientation at his school. He was going into college. So we were walking in. Now, this is important to note. As we are walking in, and we're walking from the parking lot, which was some ways down the block to where the building was. You know how campuses are laid out. And so we were talking to everyone. Everyone was, hi, how are you? And welcome. And everybody was very talking. Everybody was very excited. We go inside, we sit through the whole presentation. Now, this is another thing kind of important for you to notice. We went to sit in the hall. Now, I sat 3 in, my son sat next to me, and then his father sat next to him. So he's sandwiched between, and I'm farthest from the aisle. On the very aisle seat, there was a woman who was a little bit shorter than me, had gray hair, a little bit older than me, and very thin, and she was sitting on the end. Okay. Now the story goes on. We all are watching, okay? We go through the whole morning listening to presenters and everything else, okay? Asking questions. Then they say, all right, it's time for lunch. And they wanted to get us all down into the cafeteria. I wasn't very excited for cafeteria food. I had gone to this school. I know the cafeteria food, and I'm sure they were going to make it special for us, but it did not sound good to me. And I wasn't even going to be able to sit by my son. So I wasn't very excited about it. So, and his father was leaving. So I'm left there, and this woman on the end says, I don't really want cafeteria food. I said, neither do I. She says, you want to go out to lunch? I thought, sure, why not? Now, I don't know this woman at all. But you know what? We're both parents. I think, why not? Why not just go and get to know a parent? Maybe your kids will become friends. Who knows, right? Take the opportunity, have fun. And I'm not a shy person, so I agree. So we go out, and I am not totally dressed for a hike. I have sandals on. I thought, we'll walk to where our car is and just take off. Well, she starts to say, well, my car is way over here, and I think I'm parked by you because I saw you walk in. I said, great. So she puts on her phone, and we start walking, but we are walking in a weird way that never gets us to the car. I'm serious. It was so strange because I know that campus. And at one point I said, no, we are way too far from our car. We need to reverse back. So we reversed back, but we ended up in the same spot. And I am like, really? I'm saying, do you feel like we're ending up in the same spot all the time? She said, no, we haven't been here before. I thought, this is very strange. When we were walking up the hill next, we were walking up a hill. It was a very hot day. My shoes got slippery, and I slipped in my shoes, and I fell forward, and I landed on the cement like this, and that's how I broke this arm in a way that was, I don't know what they call it, but you can see the line there. I showed you in another video. And the bones were sticking out. It was really disgusting. Okay. So all of a sudden I fell, and she goes, oh my gosh, are you okay? And I said, yes, I'm okay, but I think my hand is not. And I was feeling very woozy now because this kind of put a shock into my system. So, but I got up, I took off my shoes because I didn't want to slip anymore. So now I'm walking barefoot, holding my arm up. I've got a bag from the college on my arm, and I'm walking, holding like this, and trying to get to our car. All of a sudden, she looks at a parking lot that is not ours and says, "You know what? I think that's your parking lot." And then she goes, "I'll see you later." And she took off. Yes, she left me there in bare feet and a broken arm. So I say, "Oh, great." And I'm thinking, where's my car? Because I'm lost. I'm like, where is my car? And there's a million parking spaces. I mean, it's a college campus. It's a big one. So I start walking all by myself. Okay. I'm running into people everywhere. No one sees me. I say hello. I say, "Can you help me?" No one responds. I'm serious. No one said a thing. Now you're going to think I'm crazy, but no, this is exactly what happened. I have their college bag on my arm. I look in distress. No one said, "Can I help you?" Or, "Yes, I hear you. I can get you a shuttle." I could not get a shuttle on myself. They would go right by me. It was like I did not exist. Now, I'm getting kind of weird feeling because this is in a lot of pain, and it's swelling up like a freaking tomato. So I thought, okay, I have got to find my car. And that's when I said, "I would love to help." I said, "Joan's my guide." I said, "Joan, we have got to find my car now. I've got to get to emergency." And then in about 3 minutes, I'm walking up the street and I see the parking lot right there. Well, I'm pointing this way, okay? So I go into the parking lot. There are people there. No one says anything to me. I say hello. They still don't say anything to me. It's like I'm in another weird timeline where I am invisible or they don't see me somehow. It's very weird. I get into my car and I drive myself to emergency, where things start to click better. And I'm more and then all of a sudden I'm back in a timeline. Without Joan, I don't think the timeline would be there. But see, when I talk to my guides, I say, "Listen, I need your help." And I say, you need to help me find this. And then it is done because I believe, I know, and I hear it. I'll help you. It's right up ahead. And so I do what they say. I go right up ahead, and to the right, there is my parking lot. But without that, I might have been walking in that weird place for some time. I don't know. That is a weird one, right? So it is important for us to have our guides and it also gives you incredible faith and strength to know that you can hear them and they can hear you. It is quite different than just praying, but praying is important too. Now, if you're interested in connecting, I do have a class, so you can also learn. And that link is below, and all the description, everything's below. But wow, huh? What a story. I have some real wingdingers. I don't even have to do research. I got them. Love you all. I hope you are having a real day full of real people and have a wonderful abundance. Thank you.